All right, so I posted about this back on December 21st. This came out on the 16th. I put up a post on Facebook just asking like is this a scary thing? And I don't think that people really I don't know if folks are it's like I get it. Some folks like, "Hey, well, things will happen. It'll be okay." And I'm not saying it won't be okay because there's always a strategy. Like there's always a way, there's always something you can do different to fix things. But right now, Facebook is in war, like at war with Apple. And Apple is doing their thing because, they're the company of privacy. And so therefore they are making their like it's default by default in iOS 14, right? It's going to be the case that Facebook you won't be able to really track users' activity via Apple via the iOS 14 ecosystem, software, platform, whatever you want to call it, unless they turn the function on, which means that all these ads, if you're trying to target people, you're trying to run some remarketing, some retargeting, those things are going to get screwed up. They're so, and again, I know it's media, it's all doom and gloom. And of course, Facebook has to kind of say the worst. But they're saying without personalized ads, Facebook data shows that the average small business advertiser stands to see a cut of over 60% in their sales for every dollar they spend. Now, just so y'all know, the cost of advertising on Facebook has already gone up. Like it's already gone up. It's not new. And so this is just going to make it even more expensive to the point where I may just be marketing to Android folks, to be honest, like to be real. But there's options, right? Because I said, hey, another way to do it is content. So one of the things I'm gonna be doing, if I didn't catch it, is the content engine intensive. And if you can't rely on ads, then the other thing you can do is rely on content. Because I don't want this to be me. Okay. I don't want my costs to go up 60% or have to lose 60% of my lead generation capability. I don't want that. So I don't know if y'all okay with that. But again, I've been talking about how important content is to you building up a business. So make sure you text the word content 240-696-2009, or there may be a link somewhere around the post you can check out as well. And I'll see y'all at the training. Again, I know I'm pitching the training, but at the end of the day, like this is so relevant. Like at the end of the day, the other way around this is just getting better with more consistent content. So let's do it. Okay, so I felt like I needed to kind of create, say, a separate video, but just some additional commentary after I've had some time to let this stuff sink in. This is not going to be highly produced, right? Just kind of raw feedback in terms of how I'm looking at this thing. And targeted, targeted advertising hasn't always been a thing. And businesses have still found a way to thrive. So at the end of the day, like business is business. The rules change all the time. COVID has shown that, but it's up to us to be able to find a way to adjust with all those changes. Now, do I have the answer in terms of how you specifically need to adjust right now? No. Is content, I think, a huge option? Yeah. Maybe a little self-serving, maybe not. I think it's actually the right answer because something you need to do in every environment is put out content. But just looking at this argument from a broader standpoint, because at the end of the day, everybody has different views on privacy. But every platform, even Facebook right now, has the option to opt out of certain things. And I don't care where you are on the spectrum of how you feel about conspiracies in the government and things of that nature. At the end of the day, there's plenty of systems and places where you go to right now that collect your data and track your data. It's just the nature of it. Now, personally, I don't really care. And I like the fact that I can be served and advertised to around specific things that are relevant to me. I like the relevance, right? Like I don't enjoy getting a bunch of advertisements about things that don't matter to me. And so I know I'm be advertised to anyway, right? That's never going to change. So it might as well be relevant advertising. Like that's just the way that I see it. And I don't care about the tracking point, but you may feel different. And that's fine. And so part of the American ideal is this idea that we should have the freedom to choose. Okay. And Facebook has an option on there already for the freedom to choose. And at the end of the day, Apple, again, why I don't love the move, is still giving you freedom to choose, right? They're giving you more ways to choose how you want your data to be tracked or not be tracked. And I can't be but so mad at that. It's frustrating from a business standpoint, but I can't be but so mad at that. Now, the other way that you have to look at it, though, is again, the big companies won't really be affected by this. Now, this kind of goes into the climate that we're in right now. The big ones won't really be affected much by this because a lot of the ones that have been around for quite some time operated in this space like before there was all this targeted advertising. Really, what targeted advertising has been amazing, especially if you are limited on resources, has been for the little guy. It's been the ability to be able to sell that t-shirt around that specific demographic in that one singular area, because you could go on Facebook and target their name, target what they were interested in, target the county, the state, the zip code that they're in, right? It's the ability to be able to do that that's allowed anybody, the Joes, the Kates, the Johns of the world, like just the anybody person that wanted to start something, not necessarily big, but just to make a fair living off of. They could go online, go on Facebook, put up a targeted ad, and be able to reach the people that they meant to reach. Okay, so again, instead of it becoming this, I'm just going to throw something up and hit everyone approach, it was, I can just target and speak to the people that I actually want to speak to. And I don't think there's anything bad with that. I think that actually it's in some ways, like I said, more noble. It's more convenient because no longer am I seeing ads about stuff like, again, I'm a Washington football team fan. So I don't need to see ads about the Dallas Cowboys, right? Like that would be very opposite. But now in this case, again, I still in my area, so this won't happen. But this is kind of the comparison. Is now I may see those things, right? Like I actually game the system of being able to track stuff. So of course I'm going to keep the setting on, right? For me personally, and I guess what it comes down to is me personally, I get the choice to be able to keep those things on, right? And so it doesn't really affect me. But I think at the end of the day, like I feel like it's a win in general because most people are going to be advertised to. Unless you have some type of ad blocker, you will be advertised to, like, period. So that's that piece. The last piece of it is whether Apple in some ways is being a hypocrite or not. Because at the end of the day, like, I don't know what Apple's tracking. So is Apple saying, and again, I don't know how it's going to work, but at the end of the day, like, is Apple saying, hey, you can surf the internet and these other places can't track you, but we still can, or now nobody can track you, right? Like that, I don't know. I don't know the facts on that stuff, so I'm not going to get into it, at least not today. I may do another video on this after I've kind of read up on it some more, maybe listen to some other sources and see what other experts are saying. But at the end of the day, like, is it Apple just saying, no, these other folks can't track you, but we can, or is it no one can track you? And that is probably where the bigger argument is if Apple is saying, yeah, y'all can't, but we can, then I can see where folks may have some other companies could have some problems with that. I personally would have some problems with that. Because, I mean, something that was open to everyone is now you've cut off and made exclusive. And they do the same thing in terms of their app store. If I go and do something on the Google store, I can put up an app for, like free. But then if you go into the Apple ecosystem, it costs so much and they force you to do certain things that you have to charge people in order for you to actually run an app on their platform, right? Like it's the same thing. Okay, so we'll see. It's still a kind of here and there kind of thing. As time develops, we'll see and adjust. At the end of the day, the biggest suggestion I have to you, especially if you're a coach and you're a speaker, you've had a chance to thrive before this environment. And there will still be opportunity to thrive after this environment. And again, we're just in a time and space where paid advertising is a thing. And so if your budget is limited, then you have to be creative in other ways. And so I've already started to try to incorporate some other ways to get my business out there outside of advertising, right? And so I put myself in a position where I'm about to, let's say, pivot, but add to the arsenal anyway. So I got content, free content, and free targeted content, and then advertising, and then I got some other thing that is coming down the pipe, which I will talk to you all about once I got it up and running and I'm showing that it's effective. On this end, I can get some numbers and I kind of show you how things are rolling. So make sure y'all stay tuned. I appreciate you and all that you do. I'll see you in the next one. And as usual, treat each day as a building block to a better future. Peace.